the head coach down in Tampa, and he joins us now. Greg Schiano. Coach, welcome. How are you?
Doing well, Mike. How are you?
Good. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, same to you guys.
You know, it's been a very interesting year down there, and now to see the way the team's rallying, I'm sure it's made you very proud. So, I mean, to see a team, and you saw it in the Seattle game, where it started to really pull together and show a lot of fight, the young quarterback playing very well. So this last month has been a very different month for you and your team.
Well, you're right, and the guys, my hats off to them because they stuck with it. It would have been easy as the losses began to mount at the beginning of the year, and the pressure's on to get that win. Start turning on each other and turning on the coaches. But I think due to the leadership down in that locker room, the guys, they hung steady, and the coaches did, and we got good players that started getting over the hump a little bit.
Yeah, and how about for you? I mean, you go through this Freeman thing where, a lot of accusations were made, and, you were pretty steadfast that you didn't do it. A lot of people, accuse you of a lot of different things. That couldn't have been too pleasant.
No, it never is. But, the reality, Mike, is you really can't say what you feel and what you want to say because it just looks like you're denying to save your own rear end, and you're not going to get into that stuff. So I just believe you do your job and you keep doing things right, and at the end of the day, it all comes out, and it has and it will, and that's a good thing.
Well, I saw what Glazer said this week, saying, hey, he's very, very happy the way the team has rebounded. And, I mean, you were talking about a setting down there that wasn't pleasant. I mean, there's billboards and, guys looking to get you fired and ouster and this and that. But obviously the team didn't crack because you could see it. When we watched the Seattle game, your team played great and could have won that game. And you'd already had a couple of tough losses along the way before that. And now 3 straight wins. The team hung together. What was the key to the team hanging together?
Well, I think it's really the leadership. We got guys like Vincent Jackson and Davin Joseph and Gerald McCoy and Darrelle Revis and Deshaun Golson. Those guys, Lavonte David, guys that just, not only hung together with the players, but I think our assistant coaches they have a really good relationship with the guys, and they work at it together. And again, there's no finger pointing, and I think that's when you can keep that stuff from happening, that's when a team can continue to get better. And I think we have, and we will continue to. The thing we're battling now is we've got a bunch of guys on the IR. We have 13 or 14 guys on IR, and what's happened is some young guys have really stepped up, and I credit the leaders for that too, because there's an environment here where they're helping each other out.
Well, a couple of things. One is Lavonte David, and the other day you had Gruden talking about him, and a couple of people have highlighted him this week. But here's a guy who had a very tough listen. He made a bad mistake. It cost you a game up here. It was a bad penalty, dumb penalty. But that guy hasn't hung his head. He didn't hang his head that week. And he has played great for you, especially the last month. His play has been outstanding.
I couldn't agree more, Mike. I would not trade that guy for any linebacker, and I say that. And there's some good ones out there. But Lavonte David is everything you want in a football player. He's productive on the field, but he's a tremendous leader in his own way. He is a great practice guy. He works his tail off. He's what you want to use as a model for what a Buck football player is.
Yes, and your team has been very opportunistic. Was in the Detroit game, making big plays late, and Detroit is a hard place to win. Explosive offense, make the play down on the goal line against Johnson late. Now, we were all waiting to see Revis play him head up. Didn't last very long. How is Revis right now? He clearly, he's not 100%. I know that. He's still nagging injuries, but how is he right now? What has he got, a groin, right?
He does. It's kind of the hip groin area, and it's day-to-day right now. I'm hopeful that he's going to be able to play this weekend, but we're going to have to wait and see how he responds to treatment.
Have you seen the real Revis yet?
I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, Mike, we really have seen – and maybe it's not all the way back, but pretty darn close. I mean, he's been dominant. He's thrown 3 or 4 shutouts, and even with Calvin, I mean, I thought, he played the entire first half, and I think Calvin really had 1 catch on him in man-to-man coverage. That was it. And, I think Darrelle's playing at a very high level. That's why it was, disheartening when he did get that injury. But I'm hopeful, like I said, that he's going to be able to play this weekend because, again, another great receiver, Steve Smith, that we're up against.
Absolutely. And Carolina playing wonderful football. And And a couple of you guys still played very well in the secondary in that game last week, too, because I watched a lot of the Lion game. It was a good game. And your team's been playing very hard. And your quarterback, who, was my favorite quarterback in this draft coming out. I talked about him. I liked him at NC State. I liked his big arm. I watched him play a lot. That kid, I thought, would be an NFL quarterback, and right now he sure looks like one. Glennon has stepped in and played really well and hasn't gotten enough attention across the country. In his last 6 games, he has played terrific football.
He really has. He's taken care of the football. He's thrown 1 interception in his last 6 games, and I don't know how many touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, I think, or 10 or whatever it is, but more than anything, he's done a really good job of stepping into what could have been a very difficult situation, and really was very mature. And his work ethic is incredible. This guy's here 5:45 in the morning every day in the facility studying tape. Really works to be the player that he is, and because of that, he's earned the respect of our veteran guys, and I think that's critical.
Well, this kid, if he's got the makeup, and I wouldn't know that, but it sounds like he does. We know he has the arm. I mean, he has a big, big throwing arm.
He does. He can make every throw in the book.